There's something irresistibly dangerous about a man who doesn't unravel after a breakup. You know the kind. He doesn't call, he doesn't plead, he doesn't buckle under the weight of what almost was. Instead, he fades away not as a coward, but as a storm that's passed through, altered everything, and left behind only silence. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 6 moves that rewrite the story. 5 unshakable steps that not only help you heal, but make her regret ever believing you were easy to leave behind. And before we dive in, I've got something special for you, a free ebook, the Female Mind Control Handbook. It reveals hidden secrets for making any woman crave you. Grab it now. The link's in the description or the pinned comment. Let's get started. 1. Vanish like a king. Let her yearn for what she can't hold. After the breakup, her silence will echo louder than any words. But this emptiness, it's your throne. She expects chaos, tears, desperate calls. But you disappear not out of weakness, but like a sovereign reclaiming his territory. Your phone stays hidden. Your messages are scheduled or left unanswered. Your presence remains undeniable, but remote, because when a woman loses access to a man she once controlled, something remarkable happens. Her memory flares back to life. She scrolls through your photos, rereads old messages, tastes your name in the quiet hours when she's alone. That's when she starts missing you, not just the love, but the calm. Because the man who vanishes with his dignity intact becomes a ghost she's driven to chase. But here's the twist. It isn't simply absence that pulls her back, it's the quality of your absence. You don't sulk, you don't plead, you transform. You're not the man who walked away. You're the man who keeps living, free of nostalgia or need. Stay disciplined, stay ambitious, stay magnetic. And when she wonders how you can face the world without her, she'll see that it was never about love, was about attention. A king doesn't return to his castle without her invitation. He waits until she opens the gates herself, and when she does, she begged for the throne she thought she could abandon. To turn pain into power and let her watch you transform. She expected you to collapse, to drown in the music you once played together, to stare at your phone like a prisoner begging for release, to stalk her socials just to feel close again. But what she never counted on was you choosing yourself over the wreckage, not out of spite, but because something inside you snapped awake when she left. You remembered exactly who you are. Now you rise early, lift more than just weights you, lift your spirit. You put on that shirt she admired, but you wear it for the man in the mirror. This transformation isn't a performance, it's sacred. The rebirth of a man who mistook attention for love, who loved her like fire, beautiful, yes, but blind to the burn. Now you don't kneel to desire, you command it. You build that business, you hit the gym, you reconnect with silence, and in that quiet, you don't find loneliness, you find clarity. Here's the secret. When a man begins to glow, when his voice deepens, his gaze sharpens, and his energy becomes a drug she can no longer access, she feels it. She aches for it. Because the same man she believed she could replace is becoming the man every other woman now notices. Her fear isn't simply that you're moving on, it's that you're becoming unreachable. This is where the reversal begins. Now she's the one checking your stories, watching you evolve, wondering who you're becoming and who's watching you become it. And the hardest part for her, she can't just call anymore, because your number isn't a lifeline, now it's a luxury. And luxury doesn't chase, it's earned. So let her watch. Let her feel the distance expand like a velvet rope. Let her sit with the consequences of her choice while you carve a man out of ashes. And memory, because the moment you no longer need her validation. She crawled back not because she pities you, but because she misses the power she surrendered. 3. Reignite your sensual energy, not for her, but for yourself. Here's a truth most men deny after a breakup: you don't just lose her, you lose that sensual edge, the hunger, the rhythm, the heat that once moved through you for her. She made you feel desired, wanted. She knew your patterns, your pace, your breath. And now there's no one to reach for in the dark. But this is exactly where you reclaim yourself, not as her lover, but as your own fantasy. You start wearing your shirts differently unbuttoned, just enough to remind the world you're not broken. You wear cologne again, not because she liked it, but because you do. You don't flirt for revenge. You flirt to remind yourself that you still have it. And trust me, you do. When you walk into a room, your energy arrives first quiet, calm, dangerous, in the most seductive way. She hears from mutual friends that you've been out laughing, dancing, rising in mystery rather than sinking in sadness. And that image will haunt her. She expected you to mourn her in bitterness. Instead, you honored the loss by becoming more magnetic than ever. Remember, sensuality doesn't die when she leaves. It reawakens when you realize the passion was always yours. So keep that fire alive. Let other women feel it. Let yourself feel it. Because the moment you stop waiting for her return, she'll be knocking at your door, and this time, you decide if she deserves to enter. Control the narrative while she drowns in doubt. Now we reach one of your greatest tools, perception. She's crafting her own story about the breakup, telling friends it was mutual, claiming you weren't ready for commitment, laughing like she didn't sob in her car the night you said nothing. But your silence isn't cowardice strategy. You don't retaliate on social media. You don't air your side at parties. You let the mystery grow. And brother, mystery is addictive. She begins to wonder, does he still care? Has he met someone new? Why isn't he posting like before? Did I overplay my hand? These questions eat at her, because what you're doing or not doing speaks louder than any confession. Your story is told in shadows, not shouts, in restraint, not revenge, in the way you now carry yourself, higher, calmer, sharper. And while she struggles to prove she's unbothered, you become unforgettable. Control the narrative not by talking, but by thriving. Let her fill in the blanks with every fantasy and fear. You once whispered in her ear, but you no longer need to say a word to stay in her mind. You just keep rising while she watches from the distance she chose. 5. Let her come back, but make her earn the man she lost. There will be a moment, a text, a hey stranger, a heart emoji. At 1:43 a.m, she'll circle back. But when she does, don't be the same man who watched her walk away. Now you're evolved, healed, more hungry for peace than for passion. That bled you dry. So when she reaches out, don't jump. Don't romanticize the reunion. Evaluate it. Because this isn't about her choosing you anymore. It's about whether she's worthy of access to you again. Ask yourself, did she apologize? Without excuses, does she bring clarity instead of confusion? Is her return rooted in reflection, not loneliness? Remember, just because she regrets it doesn't mean she's ready. And just because you miss her doesn't mean she's changed. You don't beg for closure anymore. You are the closure. If she comes back with games, silence. If she returns with sincerity, consistency, and accountability, maybe. But on your time, your terms, your throne. Let her beg. Let her break a little, the way you did. Only then will she learn this man isn't easy to love, but once loved, he's impossible to replace. Comment unreachable if you're done chasing, done explaining, ready to become the man who doesn't need to be loved loudly to be missed deeply. Let it echo in the comments. Let her feel it wherever she is now. Unreachable, because the new you doesn't beg.